Hello, my name is Durga and I'll be presenting my project using Google BigQuery. Google BigQuery is a cloud-based big data analytics web service. It processes very large read-only datasets. It is based on Dremel, which is a scalable, interactive, ad hoc query system used for analyzing read-only nested data. BigQuery uses columnar storage to scan data and a tree architecture to aggregate the data from clusters. Google BigQuery is one of the services provided in the Google Cloud Platform. For my project, I used the Shakespeare dataset. It contains 4 fields: word, which is the word used in the text; word count, the number of times the word appears in the text; corpus, one of the text the word came from; and corpus date, the year the text was published. My problem statement is to find the total number of unique words written each year between 1590 to 1612 and order the results by ascending year. To set up my account for BigQuery, I went to the following site. So now I'll show my dashboard. You can see the projects I created. I created a new project called Project Sample. Each project has a project ID and a number, and the project ID is what I used for the application, which I'll show later. In addition, I can also view the APIs that are enabled. So I'll click on Enable and Manage APIs, and then click on Enabled APIs. And these are all the APIs that are enabled. To run locally, 2 things need to be set up. One is the Google Cloud SDK, and the second is the application default credentials. I first set up the Google credentials. I selected my project and proceeded to create a service account key. I chose to download the key type as JSON and chose Compute Engine Default Service Account. I stored the key file in a secure place in my files. Here you can see the credentials set up for the project. To access that, you can click on the main menu of the Google Cloud Platform, click on API Manager, and then click on Credentials. And here you can see the ID of the service account key and the service account. Next, I downloaded Google Cloud SDK. I went through the installation and configuration process. At the end, I received authentication with the Google Cloud SDK. I was prompted to select my project for authentication. To use the dataset, I used Google Storage. To find it, you can click on the main menu of the Google Cloud Platform and scroll to the Storage section and click on Storage. Google BigQuery works in conjunction with Google Storage for large datasets. In the Google Cloud Platform menu, I navigated to Storage to create a bucket. So here I created a bucket called Durga. After I create the bucket, I upload the Shakespeare.csv file to it. I decided to use Java for this project and chose Eclipse as the IDE. In Eclipse, I created a Maven project. I went to the following site to download the BigQuery API client library for Java. After the setup process, I completed the code and POM XML file. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the code in Eclipse. So here is the POM XML file with all of its dependencies. And here is the code. So this first method, create authorized client, creates an authorized client service using application default credentials created. This execute query method runs the query synchronously. This last method, print results, outputs the results. In the program, I'm required to enter the project ID, and this is the same project ID I referred to earlier. And here's my query. I'm selecting the rows as my count for words and the corpus date or year the text was published. The syntax used for BigQuery is SQL-like, but they do have a specific query syntax. The rest is additional code to output the results into a CSV file, which I called query output, so it can be used for visualization. So now I'm going to go ahead and run the code. I enter in my project ID, and this is the same project ID I pointed out earlier. And here are my results. On the left is the word count, and on the right is the year. In addition, you can see that in my query history, the query displays. If I refresh the page, it shows up top. Now I'll show you how I created this CSV file. Here's the CSV file created. Here's how my CSV file looks like. This is the file I used for visualizing the results in D3. Looking at these results of the CSV file, I looked at the min and max values for the word count, which is on the left, and the year on the right. So now I'm going to copy the CSV file and place it in my D3. Now I'll show you the JavaScript for D3. So here I provide the input CSV file. And here I give the ranges for the X scale from 1580 to 1615, and for the Y axis is 0 to 21,000. I'll go ahead and run this. And here's the output shown on a scatter plot. So going back to the scatter plot, I have the word count on the y-axis ranging from 0 to 21,000. On the x-axis, I have the year ranging from 1580 to 1615, as my problem statement describes to show the word count from year 1580 to 1615. And that is it. Thank you for listening.